Yes, I hope we are loud and clear for the Facebook and the YouTube audience. Yeah, yes, we are live now.
Shall we start?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. So we wanted to host this session with Alan from TADHACK to give you an idea as to what TADHACK Open is and to answer all your questions. And if you are interested in participating, all the inside details, everything that you need to know to get prepared and join this, how do I say, a really one of a kind global event for the Sri Lankan community. So we are really happy to have Alan. Thank you for joining us very early. I know there's a long, huge time difference. So let's get started. I think we have an audience, so let's just get started with the first question. For those who have, I know you've been working on this. Can you, for our audience who are here who don't know anything about TADHACK, what
Yes.
is TADHACK? And then maybe you can go on to explain a bit more as to what TADHACK Open is.
Excellent. First of all, thank you, Kanchana and Dinori, for inviting me to present to the IdeaMart audience. And thank you to all the IdeaMart community for taking the time to listen to this introduction to TADHACK Open. So my name, Alan Quayle. I'm the founder of TADHACK. And as you can see by all my grey hair, I've been in technology a long time. I won't bore you with the history. Now, we have partnered with IdeaMart since 2014. So that was when we ran the first TADHACK, and TADHACK is the largest global hackathon focused on programmable communications. So it's all the APIs, the capabilities that you know and love from IdeaMart. So that's a little bit of background. We have normally two events. We have a big global event that's usually in October time. And then we have a smaller regional event centered around Orlando, because we get to present at Enterprise Connect in March. Now, what we've done this year with TADHACK Open is make it focused on women, and we've also made it virtual. So we have a physical location in Orlando, but we're inviting people from all around the world, and we already have registrations from South Africa, from Sri Lanka. It's really great to see the engagement and excitement around TADHACK Open. So that's a little bit of background. The reason we're not calling it TADHACK for Women is American politics. I won't go into it, but we need to be very sensitive to the state-funded university that we work with in Florida. So because of that, they need to be, seen to be unwoke is the term. So that's the reason why it's slightly out positioning, but we're open. We welcome anybody and everybody to TADHACK as we have since the beginning. But for this year, we're very much focused on working with organizations that encourage and help women have a far stronger role in technology. Because I think we can all agree there are not enough women in technology. You look at any telecoms related organization, and it's unfortunately tends to be a sort of, in the technology side, an 80-20 split rather than a 50-50. So very much with TADHACK, we're trying to encourage more women to get involved. So that's a little bit of background. Just give you a few details. So go to tadhack.com, TADHACK.com, and that'll take you straight to the TADHACK Open site. So can I share my screen, or is it best? I'm just wondering. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no screen sharing, so don't worry. I'll I'll skip that. But you'll see when you go to TADHACK.com, there's the site where you've got TADHACK Open, the dates. So this is the physical dates where we'll be running in Orlando on the 25th and 26th of March. Now, you can start earlier. We have people that, because of family commitments, because of, they just have time earlier in the month. In fact, I was having a chat with somebody yesterday that is already starting to think about how to use the Radisys APIs. I'll come back to how to get access to those resources in a few minutes. So it starts then, but you can start earlier. And as you can see on the logo on the right-hand side of the screen, we're partnering with Enterprise Connect. So let me give you a little bit of information about Enterprise Connect. This is the largest global conference focused on communications, enterprise communications. So the likes of Cisco, all the big name brands, Microsoft are there, because communications is fundamental to how businesses operate. So this is a great opportunity for some of the winners, and we will have both in-person presenters at Enterprise Connect, but also we're going to show some of the video pitches as well. I'll come back to how we get those video pitches in a minute. But very much, I'm hoping we will have some of the winners from Sri Lanka presenting to the Enterprise Connect audience. So that's very excited about. We always have cash prizes, so there is always money to be won. And over the years, Sri Lanka always does very well in the quality of the ideas, the quality of the presentations, and of course, disproportionately win on the prizes. Now, there's lots of resources you can get access to. Let me just scroll. If you scroll down, okay, you'll see the big green register button. So if you are interested, just click that button and register. You'll see it's a very easy, just name, email to get involved. And then this year, we have one sponsor, Radisys. And you can see under their logo, there's the Radisys Developer Resources. Now, that link isn't, well, it's live, but it's using last year's resources. So have a look at it, but it's not the full capabilities you can play with. Now, the nice thing with Radisys is they have a low-code, no-code tool. So you do not need to be a hardcore coder to use the Radisys resources. You can see there's a graphical user interface, and they already have a few worked examples. So it makes it very easy to get up and running and implementing some of your idea. And then we have the schedule. So you can see the in-person piece will run over the weekend. We'll be broadcasting live. Again, I'll share the details so you can see the people hacking in Orlando. And as I mentioned, we have registrations from all around the world taking part. And then on Tuesday the 28th. Now, I know this time will be the middle of your night, but again, I'll record so that we can show you that you got your presentations given in front of a large audience of senior executives from around the world. Now, one of the other things is with Enterprise Connect is they have a Women in Communications organization. Again, same objective in encouraging more female involvement in the telecommunications communications industry. And I know the head of Enterprise Connect is reaching out to Kanchana and Dinuri. I'm hoping that can raise awareness globally of the amazing work that Idea Mart for Women has done and is doing. And of course, hopefully you can get some more sponsorship from some of those big companies. As you can see, we have a range of people sponsoring, partnering with us. So that is just a very high level overview of what we're going to do. I will later, when we get into more Q&A, explain how you submit a remote video pitch. But rather than spending all this time talking, I thought I'd take a pause here so can Shannon and Dinuri have a chance to ask a few more questions.
Yeah. No, thank you, Alan. I think you went in detail. I think you covered a
Most
bit
of
of,
it,
yeah, yeah, most of it, bits and pieces of the overall program. So let's now break down into step by step and go ahead. Just to
Yes.
clarify to our audience, I think who's joined here, yes, I know TADHACK Open is focused on driving female, developers and women in tech. But if you can clarify, I mean, it's not limited to females, it's
No.
open to everything, or is there any other requirements, like should a team have a minimum one fem? Is there any requirements like that in the team composition, or how
Right.
should the
No,
teams
good
be
question.
comprised of?
So you'll see on the registration form, you can register as an individual, you can register as a team. It's up to you in terms of whether you take a team-based approach or an individual approach. It's open, so it can be, any mix. We are not requiring there must be a woman involved, but I can tell you, because we're focused on working with female empowerment organizations, the majority of the registrations are from women. So, we're not trying to set any rules. We have always said since our founding, TADHACK is open, TADHACK is for everyone. So all I'm doing is, like these conversations we're having here, is biasing the number of registrations towards women, which will of course bias the winners to seeing more female representation amongst the winners. But we do have some men, registering as well. I know, in fact, I was talking yesterday with one person who's taken part in TADHACK for many years, and he's starting to think about ideas, and it's him and one of his female colleagues. So he's, getting in now. His female colleague lives an hour outside of Orlando, so she may not physically attend, but she'll be taking part remotely. And that actually is one of the very interesting things that's happened, particularly here in North America, is because of remote working. Even the hackathon attendance, it's now far more remote. We have people that will maybe work remotely on Saturday, but then when the pitches are given, attend. Or I'll give you an example. In Chicago last year, we had everybody turned up on the Saturday, and then they realized, well, I could submit remotely. Sunday, I don't want to have to drive into Chicago on a Sunday. So they all worked remote, and the person that was running the location, I don't think they told him. So he turns up and it's like, nobody's turned up. I said, oh, don't worry. They've all told me they're giving remote pitches. Poor guy. But anyway, we're open, we're flexible, we can accept remote entries, in person. We don't say, you must have female leadership. All we're doing is saying we're open, come one, come all, come many, but we're working with organizations that are focused on women, because, and we're seeing that in our registrations, that this will be an event that I'm hoping will just show the power, the innovation, the uniqueness you get when you bring more diversity into the people that take part in TADHACK. Because I'll be honest, we've always said TADHACK is for everyone, but we continue on our general event to be more male dominated. So I'm really hoping for this year, this will be the first time where we see women dominating the registrations and the people taking part in TADHACK.
Great.
Right. Yeah.
Alan, so adding into what you mentioned earlier about Sri Lanka winning the TADHACs and everything, I think even
Yes.
last year we were able to like go globally with one of our teams.
Yes.
Yeah. So moving forward, can you take us through about the judging criteria or any
Yes.
other rules and regulations with the TADHACK Open 2023?
Yep. So again, we're pretty, we're not, you know, there aren't too many rules. I would say the key, how your hack is judged, is on your pitch. So the pitch is everything. Now, from the TADHACK site, you can go to the TADHACK blog and you can see the TADHACK Open remote entry procedure. So this explains a lot of the technical stuff in terms of getting the content to us so that we can judge it. Now, the judges are quite simply Radisys. Radisys have sponsored. Radisys have a broad base of people. There will be judges that are technologists. There will be judges that are women. So they will have a diverse judging panel. And what they will judge are the video pitches. Now, some will be given live at in Orlando. The majority will be remote. Now, the judges are also remote, so there's no advantage in giving a pitch in Orlando. It will still be packaged up and sent to the judges. Now, on that video pitch, it's 5 minutes. That's a strict, maximum. And just to say, don't try to speed the video up to squeeze it into 5 minutes. There's always, you can guarantee, one of the last teams to submit, they're like sneaking in under the deadline. They'll send it to you and it's like 7 minutes. And I'll go, sorry, you have to cut this down to 5. And of course, it's last minute. So the quickest way to turn 7 minutes into 5 minutes is to speed it up. But please don't do that. Aim for 5 minutes. Introduce your team name if you have one, introduce the hack name and a brief description. So the judges understand at a very high level the people involved and the name of the hack and what problem it's trying to solve. Now, one of the things we always get asked is, how do I find an idea to hack on? Well, actually, don't worry about the idea. Look in your work life, your community life, your home life, at all the problems you live with every day, and have a think about which of those problems could be helped through the capabilities that Radisys offers. And rather than thinking about ideas, think about problems and how the technologies can be used to help solve those problems. And I can guarantee you will find an idea taking a more problem-centric approach that you care about, that will come through in your pitch because you care about it. It's something that you are experiencing, and as a result, care deeply about the solution. Now, you can explain the hack in a simple presentation. You can use a few slides. You can of course, give a demo showing the little bit of the technology you've got working. I mean, the judges do not expect a full working solution. What they're looking for is you to present the problem, help them understand why that problem matters, and then to see how the technology can solve the problem and the little bit of the solution that you've got working, because you don't have enough time to be able to solve the whole problem. I mean, some people do amazing things with getting stuff working, but we just care about a little bit of a demo. And you can do some acting if you want. Really, it's whatever the team feels comfortable doing. For example, we had many years ago, it was like an Amazon Alexa before Alexa existed, where a person was in a changing room and they got the wrong size. So they talked to the agent in the changing room and said, "Could you get this size for me?" And then, and it was all done with a little bit of acting, but it just made the hack seem real. Now, that team, the reason they did the acting is they were struggling. They really were struggling in getting the hack to work. Now, that's just a simple example of how, even if you don't get the technology working, it Doesn't matter. It's all about the pitch, in explaining the problem, showing the solution that you're building, and hopefully having a little bit of technology working. Now, the advantage you've got, of course, is the world is spherical. So we ask for all remote video pitches to be submitted by, well, ideally 2 p.m. local time, so everybody has the same opportunity. But the drop dead date time, is 2 p.m. on Sunday at Eastern Standard. Though we do ask that you try to submit at the very latest by noon, because that gives us a chance to distribute the pitches to the judges. So that's just so you know that even the timings, we're not too strict. Although I'll be honest, if you come in after 2 p.m. Eastern with a video pitch, it's going to be too late. But as long as it's before that, we'll do our best to get it to the judges. So just to restate, the pitch is everything. It's 5 minutes. It's going to be judged remotely by the Radisys team, and there's no more rules than that. I mean, you can see, in the blog, we have very simple guidance around creating the pitch, and then we have guidance on making sure the content gets over to us so that we can get it in front of the judges, and then they'll make their decisions. I have no control over the judges. Sometimes they can be very quick. Sometimes they can take a long time, and I'm hassling them, and they're ignoring me, and I'm hassling them. So we don't have a really firm time when the winners will be announced. I try to get it done by 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we'll have got all the pitches received. But things have gone late into the night. But that's okay, because everybody in Sri Lanka is asleep. So you wake up in Monday morning and you get to see who the winners are.
Right. Alan, just a quick one, because when you were talking, I was thinking about this. Because there's not going to be an Q&A session, so I think you have to be very kind of clear cut as to what you communicate to the judges, so that you really kind of get your idea and your solution across. Am I right?
That's it. The pitch is everything.
Yeah.
So because
right.
The time zones,
Exactly,
when we have TADHACK Global, we do have local Q&A. But with this, the pitch is everything. So make sure you introduce the team, you introduce the problem, you explain the solution. Ideally, include a little bit of a demo, and that's it. But keep it to 5 minutes.
Would you?
Sorry.
Yeah. Would you be having any in your site or in your blogs? Would you be having any sample pitch?
Oh yes,
that would
absolutely.
have been done?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point. So if you go to, let me see, we have a YouTube channel. So let me make sure. Just hang on one moment. Oops. Go to TADHACK. Just hang on one moment. Down the bottom, there you go. So if you go to the bottom of the TADHACK.com page, you'll see there's a little YouTube logo at the bottom. So just click on that, and that will take you to the TADHACK Events YouTube channel. And there you will see top of the TADHACK Global 2022, the first group are Sri Lanka. So you can click there and you can play all the Sri Lankan pitches. You can click to see all the remote pitches that were submitted. You can have a look at from the UK, from Berlin, from Amsterdam. So there's lots of locations, and then you can go back over time. So you can scroll down, and it goes on and on and on. Literally, we have, you can see how my beard over the years has got whiter and whiter. But also you get to see all the pictures from around the world since 2014. So it's really fun to see how some ideas are recur every year, and also to see how the technologies have evolved and become much easier to use. I mean, that's the thing for me that is really exciting, is programmable communications is becoming more and more accessible. So that's enabling many more people to get involved in using these technologies to solve problems that matter to them. So for me, it's that accessibility of the technology is really exciting.
I think we've got a question, from
Yeah.
yeah.
So Alan, Dushant is asking if, since it is just before the Enterprise Connect, are we only allowed to like submit enterprise-focused products, or is there a barrier like that, or how?
Yeah. Excellent question. Excellent question. You can submit on anything. The audience at Enterprise Connect are humans. They're real people. So guess what? They'll relate to real world problems as much as they'll relate to something enterprise focused. And this, for them, enterprise focused sort of ideas, that's what they do all day in, day out. So actually showing them something that matters more to you, that's related to your family or your community life, is actually, will be more interesting because of the human interest. So don't take Enterprise Connect as we need to focus on enterprise. Not at all. What matters to you, because that will create the energy and excitement in your pitch. As I said, the pitch is everything. So solving something that matters to you is really the most important thing. Now, if it's enterprise related, great. If it's not, great as well. The key is it's what matters to you that matters.
Right.
Alan, I think just one more question that came to my mind right now. From your point of view, because you get a global view of all the teams that kind of represent and all the teams that submit, why do you think it's very important for teams from Sri Lanka to enter this type of competitions? And what kind of exposure do you think they'll receive from being a part of this competition?
Absolutely. So, yeah, we've been partnered with IDMR since 2014, and I've worked with Sri Lankan companies for many decades before that. Particularly in North America, there's a sort of overshadowing. You have this big continent next door to you that perhaps overshadows the technical and the talent that exists in Sri Lanka. So for me personally, this is just one of my objectives, is I want people to know just the talent that's available within Sri Lanka. I mean, we see it. You have labs from some of the big global brands based in Sri Lanka because they recognize the talent that's there. So part of what we do with TADHACK is to raise awareness of the talent, because talent's everywhere. If there's one thing that I see, and I'm running hacks in South America, across Africa, where Eastern Europe, throughout Southeast Asia, is talent's everywhere. And the quality, is very similar. The problems people face are very different, but the technologies and the quality of the solutions are very similar. So part of what we're doing with TADHACK is leveling, helping everybody understand that talent's everywhere. And we've seen that. I mean, there's companies like Tony Yamos, he founded Nexmo. Now, Nexmo got bought by a big telecoms company, Vonage, but they were a sponsor of the first ever TADHACK. Now, he's gone on to run a company called Oyster. Now, this is in the human resources space, but his company's focus is helping companies find employees all around the world. So for him, work for home, remote working, it's very important. And he's a great example of why TADHACK has helped many people, particularly in South Africa, in Sri Lanka, get jobs with some of the big name brands because they get to see the pitch. It's on their resume. It's a globally recognized event. Having presented at Enterprise Connect as a university student. Now, Enterprise Connect, for any North American company, they know it. And they're like, wow, they presented there? So we provide great opportunities for content in your resumes that shows that you're able to perform at a world-class level and to be associated with global brands. And whether it's in fact, from one of the first TADHACks that we ran in Sri Lanka, several companies were formed from that, and some of those companies are still active in Sri Lanka today, and they leverage that success from TADHACK. But also we have it's a conference, so it's sort of more typical sort of industry figures come together and present the latest ideas, and those Sri Lankan companies present there as well. Helps them with networking, helps them in getting funding. Again, just helps in awareness, so people realize all the cool stuff that's being built by the amazing talent in Sri Lanka.
Right. Alan, so on an ending note, can you be more specific on what kind of prizes the winners will be getting, any certificates or whatsoever? Yeah.
So cash prizes, it's as simple as that. Your pitch will be on the TADHACK YouTube channel. There'll be blogs about it. You've got the URLs that you can link to in your resumes to go, that's me, I was there, see, I'm a winner. So we provide the content, easy access, and it's cash prizes. So we have a prize pot of $5K, and one of the things that 5,000 US dollars, and we want to share the love. So we don't have one big prize to one team. We try to distribute it as we can't distribute to everybody. It's not a participation award, but we do try to spread it across as many teams as reasonable, because the quality is always so outstanding. And I think last year in Sri Lanka there were some local winners and there was global winners as well. So it's always nice when some of the global prize money can be awarded to Sri Lanka as well as the local prize money as well. But yes, cash, because a lot of the people that get involved in TADHACK, because we're open to everybody. So we get, we've had teenagers involved. We have people that are retired that just are happy for a community that's welcoming for them to learn a new technology. We have a lot of people. In fact, the person I was chatting to yesterday, he had a baby last year. He's very lucky. The baby sleeps through the night. And I told him that, and he said, "Oh, it's sleep training." And I said, "Yeah, with our kids, we tried that. They refused to." I was just sharing horror stories of baby sleeping. But anyway, that means that you're away, you're hacking. Now your partner is at home having to look after the kids by themselves over a weekend. Now with cash, it's fungible. You can use that for something for the family. So you will not get Star Wars drones prizes or something that's a little bit geeky, or vouchers for a particular SaaS service. What we do is cold hard cash, so you can share it with the family. So that's part of the reasoning behind why we just focus on something that's very simple, which is cash prizes.
I think that's probably good news for anybody, because I think especially for university students, I think they can really use that cash prizes. I think we talked about a lot of things. I think a lot of information we shared out. I think one quick question I just wanted to kind of get a bit more information before we end for this session is, can you maybe give a little bit more information about Radisson and the resources that's available for them? So that they have an idea of what they can use and what's available for them.
Absolutely. So if you go to TADHACK.com and you scroll down, you'll see premier sponsor Radisys. Under that, in blue text, you will see Radisys developer resources. You click on that, and this is material from last year, but you will see there they describe their Engage digital platform. Now this material is from last year. They will be updating it, but you can make inbound, outbound calls. They have IVR, so that's an interactive voice response, so you can ask people questions. You can send SMS. You can do click to call video. You can do screen sharing. You can record transcriptions from the calls. There's video collaboration, video recording, text to speech, speech to text. They have an interesting video assistant. You can add dynamic text over video, and they have speech analytics as well. So you can understand speech. That is, it's not just speech to text. You could summarize a conversation. And in their winners, so they show you the winners. There's the field for workforce helper. There's also Secret Babble. This is a team from the UK. It's a couple. We've had, over the years, many couples get involved. Some before they got married, some after, and then they have kids, and then their involvement starts to wane. Especially normally the first kid, they'll still be involved. By the time they have two, that's when they get overloaded. But it's nice to see people going through the stages of life and maintaining, as long as they can, involvement with TADHACK. So hopefully that gives you a feel for what Radisys has. And just to mention again, the really nice thing about Radisys is once you register, and again, this needs to be updated for this year. So this is all the materials from last year, but they will be updating soon. I'm hoping soon. It's a little, just so everybody knows, there's a big conference called Mobile World Congress taking place. Yeah. And the whole team is focused on that. So I've been asking, when are you updating the resources? We need it updated for Open, TADHACK Open. It's been a little slower, but don't worry, it will get updated. Once it's updated, and it'll be before the event, we'll get some training sessions so that you can get in and understand these tools. And the great thing is, it's not just APIs, they have a GUI so that you do not need to be a hardcore programmer. You can take the graphical tool and you can plug together different capabilities. So hopefully, it'll make it far more accessible for many more people to get involved. And you'll learn, programmable communications. All the big companies do it, whether you're Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they're all working in this space. So this gives you training and understanding, the language, and understanding some of the tools and capabilities for companies that are global leaders in this space.
One more thing, Alan, it's not compulsory that you use Radisson resources.
Good question. Yes, yes. To win prizes, you need to use Radisys.
Yeah.
However, you don't have to. Okay. You could build something on IdeaMart and show it. Now, your chances of winning,
right. Okay.
Not.
You need to be using Radisson.
But what you can do is you can mash up Radisys with maybe IdeaMart. You've got experience with IdeaMart, you can do some cool stuff, and then you mash it up with Radisys. You're using Radisys. So definitely to win prizes, you need to, but I always say at every TADHACK, mash up the sponsor's resources. So you mash up IdeaMart and Radisys, and you can create some pretty cool stuff.
Right. Okay. I think that's a lot of information. I think a lot of things we discussed. Yeah. And I think that because this is our first session, let's plan to have a few more sessions that maybe kind of really touch on the resources that's available and maybe work tools, information that we can give the teams that are interested. Thank you so much, Alan, for joining. So we are hoping that we will get a lot of entries and definitely a lot of winners from Sri Lanka at TADHACK Open this year.
That's the objective. And thank you so much for the invite, for partnering with TADHACK Open. I'm really excited about what we'll see in 1 month's time.
Yeah.
And so for whoever who's watching us now, if y'all have any other questions or if y'all can't find the links or whatever, reach out to us through Facebook or Instagram, and we'll get it done for you. And I think
that's about it. Thank you so much for joining us, Alan. So hopefully we'll keep this momentum going, and we'll catch you for a next session soon.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening and great weekend. Bye-bye.
You too.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Bye.